We are constantly getting feedback from our world, right? The universe is always communicating to us. If you become open to receiving these messages, if you build up the skill of interpreting and then taking action, that's how you begin to co-create your world. So in this video today, I want to take you through some of the major signs that the universe uses to communicate with us. And by the end of this video, you are going to recognize these signs in your own life, and you will also know what to do with them. If you are new to my channel, my name is Tertia, and I show you how to use your inner power and the natural laws of the universe to transform your life. Now, if that's something that is interesting to you, then go on and join us by subscribing to my channel, join our community, say hi to us in the comments below, and also turn on the little bell so you receive the notifications every time I drop a new video, which is once a week. Now, if you are excited to learn about these signs and you want to learn how to apply them to your life, then hit the like button and we'll get started. If you are interested in manifesting, most probably you've come across information about signs that the universe sends to us. But what we don't realize is it's not only when we are trying to manifest something that we are receiving the signs. The universe is in constant contact with us. It's always sending us signs and messages and symbols. It sends synchronicities over our way. And the purpose behind this is to communicate with us, right? It's to show us that we are either on the right track, that we're going into the right direction, into our soul direction, or it sends us these signs to tell us that we are heading down the wrong road. We can then stop and take stock of where we are in our lives and review, the things that we do, the things that we occupy ourselves with, the kinds of thoughts and feelings that we have. And it's just an opportunity for us to then recalibrate and redirect our focus. So there are many signs that the universe uses to communicate with us, but in this video specifically, I want to look at the four, call them major categories of signs that we get. And then after I've shared the categories of signs with you, then I'm also going to share with you four of the ways that you can start implementing and use in your own life to make these signs of the universe work for you, to use them to your advantage. So let's get on to the first sign. The first sign is recurring patterns in your life. So I always think about this as you climbing on one of those little horse carousels, and it's fun because you're going up and down and you're having a good ride, and the music is playing and the smell of popcorn and candy floss is wafting across the air, but you are only going around in a circle and you keep on seeing the same tree, and then it's gone, and then the same tree is there again, and it's gone, and the same tree is there again, right? And that happens to us in life sometimes as well, where it feels like we're doing different things because we're going up and down on the horse, and we get the different smells and we hear the music, but we keep on seeing the same things show up in our lives. This typically shows up in real life as you are the person who always gets stopped at the red light. All right? You are the person who always ends up with the meanest boss. You are the person who always ends up with the most toxic colleagues. And wherever you go, whatever you do, there's always the same kind of thing that happens to you. Your relationships always end in the same way, or the same things always happen between you and your romantic partner. Now, this is the universe's way of telling you that unless you change something, like start to think differently, or start taking different actions, or start changing the way that you interact with people, you're communicating, anything like that. Unless you do that differently, you are always going to get the same vista showing up. Take action by reviewing what is going on in your inner world. Right? All of our experiences that we have, or everything that we have in our outside world, the way that we see the world, it's an interpretation through our internal filters, right? And if you keep on having the same thing show up, it means that the filter needs to be cleaned, or the filter needs to be changed. And this is then how you begin to transform your life. The second category of messages is that the universe communicates and sends us signs through our feelings and our yearnings. And typically, it usually goes like this. You start off a sentence saying, I want X, Y, and Z. I want to read a book, or I want to take some downtime, or I want to start eating better, or I want to start incorporating something different in my life. I want to have more fun. I want to laugh more. Often, this yearning that we have, that impulse, when we follow that, when we listen to that little nudge that we get from the inside, we can begin to change our life in a more positive way. Now, at this point, I just want to talk a little bit about this subject of feelings. Now, if you watch any of my videos, you know that I speak about feelings a lot because our feelings, our emotions are the messengers, right? They have a message for us, and it's always going to show up until we address it, until we clear it, until we resolve it, until we release it, and until we let it go. But now in the spiritual community, there's also this mantra about if something doesn't feel good, then let it go. Or if something doesn't feel good, then don't do it. And the truth is, a lot of times, things might not feel good, but they are good for us. So this is just an important distinction that I want you to keep in the back of your mind. So when I'm saying here that, go with your feelings and investigate your feelings, sometimes, even if we don't feel like doing something, we still need to do it because it's good for us. Sometimes it's not pleasant to have that conversation with someone. But in order to advance the relationship, in order to be able to get to the next level, you have to have the conversation. So just be careful here that you don't use the justification of, I'm not going to do that because it doesn't feel good and I don't need to do anything that doesn't feel good, as a way to get out of self-development and self-growth. Sometimes growth is painful, but we need to just hang in there for a little bit, and then when we get to the other side, that is when we become transformed. All right. What you'll also find is, let's say, for example, you are thinking about doing a new project, or you are developing an interest around a certain topic, then these thoughts and feelings, these yearnings of, I want to do this, or I think I should do that, when you begin to follow those impulses, then they might lead you down the track where you get to learn more about this specific subject that you are interested in. Follow those impulses, because that's how the universe can bring us closer to our goals, or it shows us how we can get closer to our goals by following the breadcrumbs. The third sign that the universe often sends to us, or the third group of signs, is through music. So this is where you all of a sudden have a random song in your head, or you turn on the radio and a song is playing and it has some specific meaning to you, or it talks about something that you've been thinking about, or you even have a song like replaying over and over and over in your mind and you can't stop thinking about it. When we decide that we want to create something, if we put our focus on that, we are telling our subconscious mind, which filters out all of this information that we are constantly getting, we're telling the subconscious mind that this is important. And so the subconscious mind is going to do its very best to bring us information and data that supports this way of thinking. So if you are, once again, if you are trying to manifest something, or you have something in your mind, there's something going on in your life, then your subconscious is going to bring you information that is going to complement and contribute to whatever it is that is going on for you, and it's going to bring that into your awareness. So a good thing here, the way to interpret this kind of message from the universe, is to then do some introspection and discover what is it that you've been thinking about, what is it that's going on in your life right now, what is it that you are occupying your thoughts with. And in the context of that, how does this song fit in there? What possible meaning can you then take out of the song, the lyrics of the song, the title of the song, the rhythm? How can you apply that to your current situation? And then the final sign, sign number 4, is the universe also communicates with us. The universe sends us signs in the form of repetition. So this is a little bit different to patterns. Patterns, which I spoke about in the very beginning, those are the kind of things that you always find yourself in, the situations that you always find yourself in, and the things that you always end up doing. Repetition is where you literally, in your outside world, keep on seeing the same thing over and over. Now, angel numbers is a good example of this, where you keep on seeing the number 111 or 222 or 1234. Or you have your own special number, like your birthday number, that keeps on showing up. And this falls very much under the category of synchronicities. And I've made a video about synchronicity and how you can start using that in your life when you have these synchronistic events. And I'll put a link to that for you in the description below. So those then are the four main signs, the four main ways in which the universe sends us messages and communicates with us. And now I want to talk about 4 of the ways that you can take action and work with these signs. So the very first thing that you need to do is you need to learn how to pay attention, right? This is a skill that we develop. The reason why I'm saying it's a skill is because our brains have an automatic autopilot function. And what this means is our brains have been developed in such a way that many of the actions that we do gets put into a program that runs on its own so that we don't have to exert any energy in executing that. So think about when you're walking. You don't have to think about which foot you're putting where. You just walk. When you write, you don't think about how you have to form the words. You just kind of do it because you've done it for so many years. You've done it so often. The problem with this is so many of the typical thoughts, the dominant thoughts that we have, also become this automatic pattern. To become conscious is to step out of that dream state where we are in autopilot mode into the seat where you are the driver and the controller and the creator of your own reality and your life. You do that by beginning to pay attention. So the second thing that we need to remember when it comes to interpreting these signs of the universe is that it's personal. So you can Google all you want to find out what does it mean when you see 111, or what does it mean when you dream about white ducks, or what does this mean? But the truth is, all of these are specific to your specific life and your specific situation. This is where self-inquiry is so important. This is where it really pays for you to recognize that you are the creator of your life through your thoughts, through your feelings, through your actions. And everything that happens to you, everything that shows up in your world, all of the messages that you receive is specific to where you are on your path right now, and specific to what you are doing with your life. So if you can remember that, then you don't need to rely on people out there to tell you what's going on with you and what you need to do with your life. You only need to look within, right? You already have all of the answers. And people can guide you, sure. But at the end of the day, begin to trust yourself and begin to trust your own intuition and your own insights and your own wisdom. All right, so all of these messages are personal. The next way that you can use this is to follow the feeling. Now, our feelings are generally a very good indicator of what's going on in our internal world. Okay, and feelings are a little bit tricky though, because we need to be careful, as I've already spoken, we need to be careful that we don't fool ourselves into thinking there are important things that we need to do, but we don't do them because they don't feel good. All right, so we can't fool ourselves. And also, we need to be careful that we don't get stuck in our feelings, because the feeling can pull you down, especially if it's heavier feelings or feelings of regret, feelings of lack, feelings of disappointment, feelings of anger. All right, and when we get stuck in these feelings, when we buy into them, then they permeate our entire being and they affect our mental filter. They affect the way in which we observe the world. What we want to do with our feelings is also something that I talk about a lot, and that is to become observers. It's to lean into the feeling, to allow the feeling to be there, to acknowledge it, and to let it travel through you. And then the last thing that you can do that's really going to help you interpret these signs from the universe is to not let your ego get in the way. Now, one of the things that the ego is very good at is it always wants to be right. So a lot of times we only see what we want to see and we hear what we want to hear because the ego is driving our actions. What we really want to begin to do is to release expectations, release our attachments, release the idea that things must be in a certain way, and surrender. And once you begin to develop this kind of a communication with the universe, you're going to start noticing more and more these signs coming across your way that shows you that you're on the right track. These signs that are going to show up when you're manifesting to show you that what you're doing is bringing you closer and closer to your goal. So I hope you found this video helpful and that it is going to bring some new dimension in your life and assist you on your journey of transformation. And if you did, then please let me know by giving the video a thumbs up. Also share it with your friends, share it with anyone who you think might find it helpful. And if you haven't yet subscribed, then I'll love for you to join our community. So please subscribe. As always, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.